Let's do some. You got any questions? Anybody write anything?
Yeah.
Reading.
So we asked for questions on Twitter and Instagram last week. I'm sure we'll do this a couple times as the off season goes on. A lot of people just asked for like opinions on their team. If you want to just
a lot of that.
Do like 5-second rapid reactions to a couple of these to knock them out first.
I hope I know enough to know about the transfer portal. I haven't done enough. I haven't been as locked in as I need to be. But yeah, go ahead.
Maryland. A couple people asked about Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland. I don't know. Kevin Willard will be fun. That's awesome. That's exciting. What's Maryland's roster looking like?
I'm a big Kevin Willard hater.
I think. Yeah, Kevin Willard is. Hang on. Now I got to pull up Maryland basketball roster. You talking about Maryland men or women's, by the way?
Men's, for the record.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Oh, Jameer Young's back. Yeah, they're going to be good. Julian Reese. Dude, I think the Donta Scott's back. Yeah, they're going to be fucking good, dude. Jordan Geronimo. I didn't know he transferred to Maryland. Maryland's going to be good. Is that what you want me to say? I think Maryland's going to be good. I think the Big Ten's going to be really, really good, though. And I think we're in this weird... I think moving forward for college basketball, the SEC and Big Ten and Big 12 in particular, it's like a new normal where you finish in your conference almost doesn't even matter. And that's bizarre because I think there's a world where like I'm conditioned old in the Big Ten where like if you finish 8th or 9th in the Big Ten, that's a horrendous season and you should fire everybody and blow it up and start over and all that sort of thing. But like now there's so many damn teams in the league and the league is so deep that yeah, I don't know where Maryland's going to finish in the Big Ten. I know the Big Ten's going to be very good, but I think Maryland will be good too. So there. Yeah.
I'm sure you know this by now, but if you just say they're going to be good to any of those,
that's all you got to say.
That fulfills what the question was asked.
I do like Kevin Willard there though. He feels more right than Turgeon ever felt, and they had a good year last year. Yeah, he was good last year. 22 wins. Jameer Young's awesome.
I just worry that the Big Ten is about to hit another year where all of the teams are too good to be in the same conference, and then you have like really good teams that are like 11th place in the Big Ten, but would be good elsewhere.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But that's the thing about the Big Ten is that unless you have the wrong name on the front of your chest, you'll still make the tournament if you even if you finish 11th. So yeah. What else? I didn't realize. By the way, this is exciting. I didn't realize Jameer Young's back for Maryland. I thought he was a senior last year. That's what COVID and
nothing.
I don't even know what eligibility.
Anymore.
Nothing matters anymore.
So you could be a senior 5 years ago and you're still playing. Virginia returns ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Beekman, their Georgetown transfer, Dante Harris, a solid shooter, McNeely, and super athletic Ryan Dunn. Yet they aren't mentioned in any top 25 and even some top 36 rankings. Has the media forgot about Tony Bennett?
I don't think the media's forgot about Tony Bennett. I think the media hates Tony Bennett, and anytime the media gets a chance to not respect Virginia, they're going to pounce all over it. And Virginia, coming off of the NCAA tournament debacle we saw, they are in a position to like if you can say that Tony Bennett is not that guy, and Virginia and he's washed up, and his style of basketball won't work in modern basketball, and if that's your point of view, the second you can get away with saying that and not get killed for it, you just pounce all over it. But when Tony Bennett's winning the ACC and winning national championships and all that, you get a little pause. But now Virginia coming off of their NCAA tournament debacle, I think people just feel empowered and they're just like, I don't want to rank Tony Bennett. I don't like watching Virginia play basketball. I do like watching Virginia play basketball, and I will always believe in Tony Bennett. But I do have TJ, if I'm being completely honest. I'm not starting to have doubts, but I'm starting to. Things are just looking slightly awry, Like you just start seeing some things, and you're just like, "Huh, that doesn't feel right." About Virginia, that doesn't. I don't know if I want to believe in the pack line, TJ, but in a world where every single kid coming up now can shoot threes, and that's like the Achilles heel of the pack line defense. I don't know.
They've had a rough 3-month stretch here across all sports. We could talk a little college baseball after these questions, but they massively blew a lead in the College Baseball World Series, and then with the first team eliminated, they blew a late lead in the lacrosse Final Four, and then obviously the Furman game. So they've had a rough go of it as of the last 3 months or so.
You know the last NCAA tournament game that Tony Bennett won?
Was it the national championship game?
It was the national championship, yeah. That was the last time Tony Bennett won an NCAA tournament game.
I'll say it. Worth. That's worth.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you find yourself. Like when they lose to Furman and Kia Clark has the terrible pass, and I saw people talking about that. They're like, was that a trade you would make? Like this run of Virginia basketball has just been a kick in the nuts, and then there was a national title, and then kick in the nuts. And I'm like, go back to the national title. There was a national title. It was 100% worth it.
You could kick me in the nuts 100 years in a row for a national championship. I'm taking that deal.
Yeah, I think Virginia is. I believe in Tony. I'll always believe in Tony because Kyle Guy told me that Tony would right the ship, and then he did, and they won the national championship. So I don't know.
This one's from Ty Kohler. If you could add one unconventional rule to college basketball, what would it be?
One unconventional rule to college basketball. I mean, I've been so charges. We're not. I've already done that rant. I've been pro no eligibility requirements. Like I the frustrating part right now with guys sticking around for 6 years is not that, in my mind, it's not that they're sticking around for 6 years. It's that we're still under a system where you're supposed to graduate and move on, but then guys somehow don't, and that's really weird to me. I think I am pro, like, you should be able to be in school as long as you want to be, as long as you're taking classes, and I've had that take for a while, TJ. That I think guys should be able to play as long as they want in college basketball, and I think eventually they're going to be able to. I don't know. Does that count as unconventional? Or are you talking about like actual gameplay rules? Gameplay rules would be
the one I thought of was 4-point half-court shots.
I think only in like the last minute of the game or something. Ooh. I think like if you're doing that and guys are just throwing up half-court shot, that would become very unwatchable. That would become, if you think watching guys brick threes is bad,
would that become part of a team's offensive strategy? Is let's get a guy that can huck half-quarters 10% of the time?
Somebody would try it, and it would just be disgusting basketball to watch, and it would not be fun. Even though it seems fun, I don't think. But at the end of the game, that would be fun if you're down 4.
Yeah,
and you could
foul up 4.
Yeah, do you foul up 4? Do you let him? I don't like the NBA advancing the ball during timeouts. That's something that I think some people try to get that they want college to adopt. That's antithetical to sports to me. Like, how do you advance a ball? Like, you just put a ball in like you teleport the ball from one part of the court to the other just by calling timeout. I don't like it. So that's not a change I want to see. Yeah, I can't really think of drastic. Oh, here's a drastic one that I would like to see: the FIBA goaltending rules. So if the ball hits the second the ball hits the rim, you can swat it away. I like that. I think that's a good rule. I think college basketball should have that. And I don't think there's any world where college basketball is going to adopt that anytime soon. So I don't know. Does that count? That feels sort of unconventional. That I think you should be allowed to basically goaltend in college basketball.
Sure.
Shit, you should be allowed to. No, that's a terrible idea. You should be allowed to goaltend any shot within. What about that? There we go. I'm getting closer, TJ. I'm arriving on the crazy take. You should be allowed to goaltend any shot within like 7 feet. Any shot that's taken within 7 feet, you can block it at any time, even when it's on the way down, even if it's already hit the backboard, it's already hit the rim, whatever. If it's taken within 7 feet, you got to come strong or don't come at all. You know, like you gotta try dunking on dudes. That would encourage people to try to dunk on each other. That would encourage more powerful finishes. You know,
yeah.
Get this finesse shit out of here.
Hell yeah.
I have to think about that more. Is that insane? That's probably insane.
Neil on Twitter, Neil Patel said, For the hypothetical show with Brandon Walker, are you going to be focusing on college football or going on all-around sports like usual?
All around sports. That's the appeal, I think, of Brandon and I talking, is that we can talk about, the two of us can talk about anything. With the last time Brandon was on the show, I did not tell him what I wanted to talk about before we sat down to start recording, and I also wrote down no notes of what I wanted, of where I wanted to steer the conversation before we sat down. It was as blind as you can do a show. I don't recommend it for the youngsters out there getting into the podcasting world. But yeah, I sat down with Brandon and we just like let it rip, and hell, we could have talked for 6 hours that day. So we'll talk about anything, man. That's part of why I came to Barstool too. I was like, I want to branch out from just talking about college basketball all the time. I want to talk about the U.S. Open, for example.
Right.
So yeah,
I think
we'll
it'll
talk
be
about
cool.
everything.
I think that Brandon's been doesn't get along with many people as well as he gets along with you. And I don't know where that chemistry comes from, if it's just an age similarity or what, but
I will say it is really bizarre because Brandon and I had instant chemistry, like immediately.
Yeah,
the first
like
time I ever
bizarre,
talked to that guy.
like first love type chemistry.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really make sense. He doesn't do that with most people. He's like very turned off from talking to at all if he doesn't have to, but
I never talked to him even before I met. It wasn't like we were DMing each other on Instagram or Twitter or something, and I never talked to the guy. Never talked to him once. The first time I talked to him, we fell in love immediately. TJ, it was like love at first sight. So
should be fun.
I'm fired up. That show's gonna be awesome. That show, to be fully transparent, I see that show being my primary deal at Barstool. I really do. I think we're going to continue doing this show and have some fun with it and try to figure out what the next iteration of this show is. Because thank you to everybody that's been following along and still watching us on YouTube and subscribing to the podcast feed and all that. But to be fully transparent, like this is not even close to a finished product. This is the Mark Titus show. I mean, I signed on at Barstool in the middle of a college basketball season. We wanted to have some sort of outlet for me to rip off my college basketball tapes because the NCAA tournament was coming up. So we kind of started this show for that. The big question was always, what are you going to do after the college basketball season? And in between that time and the move to Chicago. And yeah, we're kind of living that out right now, which is like, I don't want to do Zoom shows from my tiny ass apartment where me and TJ are, thousands of miles away. And like, this is not what I'm trying to do. So we're going to figure out what the new iteration of this show is once we get to Chicago. But also I say that to say that I see the show with Brandon being my bread and butter and like the thing I'm most excited about, to be completely honest. And I'll figure out how this fits in with that, and everything will sort of make more sense later. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to do a show with Brandon. We'll have a ton of fun. So yeah.
This one's from PG Jeans on Twitter. He said, who are your favorite voices in college basketball?
I'm a Gus Johnson guy, like everyone else.
Me too. I don't like him for football, though. Is that weird?
I don't. Yeah, I think he makes so much sense for basketball. It's just, and then football. This was his problem with soccer. Do you remember that they were trying to make Gus Johnson the voice of
American
of the
soccer?
World Cup, because Fox got World Cup rights, and then they were putting Gus on like Premier League games, and people hated it. And the reason they hated it is because he would do his patented Gus like building up the moment on every single attack. And you can't do that in soccer. You can't be like, and here's Ronaldo, and he loses the ball, and now Messi.
It's just like edging.
Yeah. You can't do that in soccer because there's like 2 goals a game, maybe, if that. So, when goals were scored, the payoff would be awesome, and he would go bananas. But his voice and his cadence just works perfectly for college basketball. I love Jason Benetti and Robbie Hummel, man. Like those I love when they're calling games together. They're awesome as well. I think they're so freaking good. But yeah, I'm a Gus guy. Gus is the answer. Raftery obviously is one that everybody loves, but I'm gonna miss Jim Nance. TJ, can I say that now? Now that we're in the off season, I think I am gonna miss Jim Nance a lot. I think Jim Nance was awesome for college basketball, and I was worried leading into it, as we talked about on the show at the time. I was worried about him making his farewell about himself. The man did not do that whatsoever. All class from him. Yeah, I like Jim Nance. I'm not afraid to admit it. He just didn't call enough games though. By the end there, he was just calling like 3 games a year, and then he'd pop in for the Final Four, and that was it. But Gus is the man. Gus is my answer.
I like Dickie V for selfish reasons.
What? Because he's a Rutgers guy. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's a Rutgers guy. Yeah, Dickie V's awesome. Dickie V's still good. I get the Dickie V complaints out of my face. He's the man. Never mind. I don't need to do this now. Like he can be annoying, sure, but like, God damn it, he's
Dickie V.
He's Dickie V. He's a legend. This is what you pay to see, man. This is why we get into college basketball. It's guys like him, like Dickie. If I don't turn on a Duke game and see Dickie V with the camera crazy, he's like, something's a little off, you know? Like that's what. No.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't like what people are doing to Dickie V.
Yeah.
As of late. So, go ahead.
This one's from Tim Hitchings on Twitter. He said, with the new Chicago office and basketball court, do you think it's possible to teach TJ how to correctly shoot a basketball? And I sent you a video of me shooting a basketball.
Oh my God. Let me see this.
This is from last year, Barstool Idol.
Oh no. The wedgie, the Jake Marsh wedgie?
It's not only a wedgie, but Brandon's commentating this video, and he's saying it's hard to tell from watching if I'm shooting right-handed or left-handed.
Oh, that's bad, TJ. Yeah, we got to clean that up. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, the slow-mo.
I posted that on Instagram, and both Ron Harper and Geo Baker responded with just like face palm emojis. Like, we got to get you in the gym for multiple reasons. Like, I don't know. I don't have any wrist strength, I think is the issue.
You don't. We'll get you right. I'm doing that with PFT. PFT has asked me like 5 different times already if I can teach him how to shoot a basketball, and I might be overconfident, but I feel as strongly about being able to teach people how to shoot a basketball as I do about being able to teach you anything, TJ. Like that's the one thing I feel qualified to be a.
Yeah.
If there's like one job I would feel qualified for in coaching, would be like a shooting coach. That's it. Everything else I'd have like the imposter syndrome lingering over me at all times, but I feel very good about being able to teach you how to shoot a basketball. So I know this because there have been women I've dated that have never touched a basketball in their lives, and I've taught them how to. They become decent free throw shooters. So that's my resume right now. Is just like. Mostly women, like 3 women in my life through the years that were like, what is this? And I'm like, just keep your elbow in. Now we're going to put it on the fingertips and we're going to follow through. And I turned them into decent free throw shooters for like 2 weeks. And then they broke up with me because
they got all they needed.
That was my idea of romance, was like, let's go to the park and put up shots. And they were like, why would we do this?
Let's go to practice.
They got all they needed. Yeah. You got any more? One or two more?
Is that
more.
Do one more. One's from Danny. He said, how many points could Mark score in a Patriot League game given he plays all 40 minutes?
Right now or at my peak? Right now, I'm old, man. I'm not getting any younger. I keep crossing my fingers that I will be younger. It's not happening. At my peak, I could give you. So say the question again. This isn't my average. This is just like,
if you play 40 minutes, how many points can Mark score in a Patriot League game?
But the thing about questions like this is there's so many factors that you have to weigh. Am I the focal point of the offense? Are we going down the floor every time like I'm the guy? I'm JJ Redick on Duke, and everyone's just setting screens for me, and I'm carrying the offense. Or am I a guy that's just like in the mix with everyone else, and I'm only supposed to shoot when I'm open and all that?
I think that's a you question.
That's a me question.
Are you?
I don't want the focal point of the offense. That's not my game. I get double digits for sure. Yeah, if I'm playing 40 minutes, dude, I'm hitting. Yeah, if I have a green light to shoot when I feel like it, which would probably be, I'd probably get up like 15 shots, I'd say. And yeah, I'd hit 4 or 5.
That's pretty good.
Couple of those are threes. Yeah, I feel good about that. I'd feel pretty good about that. But yeah, right now, Back in the day, I would say 20 is. I would set the over under at like 16 and a half probably.
That's
16
pretty good.
and a half. Yeah. 40 minutes of like me trying to like I'm out there trying to score. I'm out there trying to score, and you're giving me a green light. Yeah, and that's not to shit on the Patriot League. Patriot League's a good league, but I got more game than people realize.
Yeah,
TJ.
be confident in yourself.
There were days of practice at Ohio State where I would, and I understand how stupid that sounds, but there were days where I would light it up. So there is a world where I get hot and I would just be fucking pouring and everything. 16 and a half is pretty high. 13 and a half. We'll say
believe in yourself.
13 and a half. And I'm hitting the over. Today though, I'm setting the line at 3.5. I'll make 1-3. Do I score another point? It's anyone's guess. I will definitely make 1-3, but who the hell knows what else I do out there. All right, that's it. That's fun. Keep sending tweet at us and
we'll put that out a couple times this summer, I'm sure.
Yeah, IG and all that other sort of thing.